Hey dolls, it's your girl Pumz coming to you with another video. I'm back this Sunday, guys, with a cute little sit-down video. I asked all my followers on Instagram to send me some questions that they want me to answer. I said nothing is off the table. Ask me absolutely anything. I'm excited to get straight into the video. So if you're interested in this video, stay tuned. Alright, so I have the questions on my laptop. So I will be looking down sometimes to just recall what the question was. But we're going to start off with the, I guess, life questions like well-being. Someone asked, how are you doing, Dombi? How is everything going? Someone else asked, how's life? Someone else asked, how have you been just in life? All right, so I've been pretty good. I think this year has been a pretty good year. This Q&A will probably look a lot different than the last one just because I'm in a really good space mentally. I'm in a really good space emotionally. Just my well-being is really regulated. And I owe that just to myself.
Last but not least, I want to thank me.
Shout out to me. I think that what I've learned the most since the last time we had a sit-down Q&A until now is genuinely just mindset, a change of mindset. A shift in your mindset is so important when you're going through things. Perspective is everything, and I have had to learn that, and I think that it was a good thing that I learned that because it's definitely changed the trajectory of how I deal with things in my life. So I definitely say that I'm doing pretty well. I owe it to my really solid support system. I owe it to myself for kind of picking myself up. As much as it's okay, and I always say this, like it's okay to bask in the sadness and kind of when life hits you hard, but it's up to you to get yourself out of that rut. It's up to you to change how you look at things and become a better version of yourself. People will encourage you, people will motivate you. God bless people in our lives. But you're the only person who's going to get yourself out of that self-pity and self-loathing and just kind of put your big old panties on and keep pushing forward. You have to get yourself out of that negative mindset and look at the glass half empty. Sorry. Look at the glass half full. It's all about how you see things. You know, bad things will happen, but I think if you look at them as you building resilience, you persevering through those bad things, because not all days are bad, guys. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Let me tell you that. You never really are gonna get over the bad days because they will keep happening. But I think to keep you sane, focus on the good days, because it's not always going to be bad. Focusing on that, I think, will definitely change how you view things and will definitely change your mental state as well. So I'm doing great right now. I think I'm at a really good place mentally and emotionally. So thanks for asking, all of you that asked, because there was a couple of questions on asking how I'm doing emotionally and mentally and if I'm okay and how life is. So thanks, guys. Okay, so the next question is, what would you say theme ya lo nyaka in your life has been? So translated, that's just this year's theme. I would say this year's theme is definitely revelation. Like, it has been a year of revelation and epiphanies and realizations and just coming to myself, you know. This year I had a lot of realization of like I said, look at the glass half full, and your mind and your perspective will change and you will be unstoppable. Things will come at you, but if you look at this like, okay, this is happening, how can I change it, turn it around and make it something worthwhile, something that I can grow from. It's been a year of realizing that the ball is in my court. I'm in control here. Whether or not you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but you're in control of your feelings and your decisions on how to react to whatever happens to you in your life. So definitely, yeah, like that realization of my autonomy over my own happiness, realizing that God restores. That's been my theme there. I'll actually piggyback that question with another question that says, what is your relationship with God like? If you asked me this maybe at the beginning of the year, I would have said it's very shaky at the moment. But I think now we're towards the end of the year, and I think that I've come full circle with my relationship with God. I don't know if I've said it on the channel before, but I struggled a lot with my faith after my dad passed away, and then my brother passed away in the beginning of 2023. So I genuinely felt forsaken. You know, if we're being really raw and honest right now, it was a very tough time for me. I had never prayed so hard to God to keep my dad for me. And when that didn't happen, I felt really forsaken by him. I felt really betrayed. And when I was having this conversation with my cousin, one of my older cousins, ironic, he is like heavy on the Christianity, okay? So we were having this conversation, and I told him, like, I'm struggling with my faith, you know? And this was at a time where we were all praying for my brother, who was in ICU as well, passed away from an accident, a car accident. So, you know, all that time praying for my brother, you know, I told him, like, I'm having trouble connecting with God because I don't know if he will forsake me again. And when that happened again, it was just really, really tough for me, because as humans, we need something to blame or someone to blame. And I put all my blame on God. It was a very tough part of my life where I felt like, how can God do this to me? You know, how can he let me go through such excruciating pain of losing a parent? Umzali, guys, ulahlekelwa ngumzali is something that I don't wish on anyone. It is extremely painful. And then I lost a sibling. 2.5 years later, I lose my brother, the only sibling really that I had growing up, because I have siblings on my father's side, but I met them when I was a lot older. I met them around 14, 15, and my brother is from my mom's side, so he's the sibling that I grew up knowing. So my childhood memories are all with him. And I think that a lot of us need to talk about this more, your struggle with faith when bad things happen to you. I couldn't pray, you know, earnestly for a very long time. And I was very honest about it with the people around me, that I don't know if, particularly Andiv, I don't know if he's punishing me for something, but Andiko right, and I don't think that he has my back in this thing called life. But I really did, this year came full circle with my faith. And I realized that uThixo unentando yakhe, and as much as intando kaThixo ibuhlungu, but it is his will, and he knows what he's doing. And you realize these things in hindsight when you've gone out of that rut. I won't say that I'm officially done grieving, you know, because one thing about grief, it stays with you for the rest of your life. Your life is forever changed when you lose someone extremely close to you, like a parent or a sibling. And I really struggled, but I think this year, again, like I said, it was a year of revelation. It was a year of restoration. I feel restored. I feel like God has restored my happiness. And it goes to show that God is just a God of restoration. He knows what he's doing. As painful as it is in the time that it's happening, you look back and you realize that, hey, all the things that I've learned in this journey of grieving and coming back to myself and all these things and becoming wiser as a 24-year-old, some of the things that I know now and that I've learned along the way in my journey, I don't think that I would have learned and would know right now if I hadn't gone through the things that I've been through. And I think my relationship with him is slowly growing back to what it was and more. I'm growing closer to God. I don't know how I'm going to go to church, ekhaya, ngeBhayibheli yesilungu, but I'll see how it works out. I'm not sure. I want to go back to church again, but it's a journey that I want to have for myself and at my own pace. So yeah, it's slowly but surely growing, and I am very grateful for that. uThixo uyababuyisa abantwana bakhe one by one. Sana uthi nonke nizandikhonza ngexesha lenu ngepace yenu, but nonke nizabuya abantwana bam. And I fully agree with that. Like, I feel like I'm coming back to God, I'm coming back to my faith. But yeah, that's really my journey. Okay, next question is, what are you most grateful for this year? I definitely would say I'm most grateful for the gift of life, guys. The gift of life, and I will keep saying that every year. Realizing that there is so much more life to live. I think that, yeah, I'm most grateful for life, the gift of life this year, the gift of family and friends, loved ones. Yeah. Okay, and the next question is, how have you been holding up since your dad's passing? I think I answered this kind of in a sense. Definitely took a while, but I think I'm okay. I think I'm in the last stage of the 5 stages of grief, which is acceptance. Because of the shift in my mindset, right? I don't cry when I talk about him most times. I don't cry when I dream about him. And I don't think that crying is the issue here. I think that it's about what you feel in that moment of talking about him or dreaming about him. I had a dream about my dad actually last night, and I woke up pretty good. Like, I woke up in a good mood. I wasn't in a really slumpy down mood where I wanted to cry and kind of be sad the whole day, which I feel like it really differs depending on the dream. This dream is pretty motivational, and I felt really good waking up because I felt like my dad was kind of giving me that reassurance that he is there for me. So definitely, look, you know, some days I read this quote that said, you know, some days grief whispers and some days it roars. And I think it doesn't matter how long it's been, it's still gonna suck some days, and some days you're gonna be okay. And you just have to take it in waves. Some days I'm okay, some days I'm not. But I'm definitely progressing within my journey. One thing that I've learned, which was a really like kind of suckish reality that I came to terms with, was that, you know, all the congratulatory milestones in my life are going to be bittersweet, because you're going to be so excited and one of the people that you were going to share the news with is no longer here. Realizing that that's going to be the rest of your life, you know, that your first car that you buy yourself, your first job, your wedding day, your first child, you know, you're not going to have that moment, or I'm not going to have that moment with my father. Kind of dampens the mood on all those kind of congratulatory, exciting milestones in my life. They're always going to be bittersweet. That kind of, you know, that's not nice. But guys, honestly, one step at a time, one day at a time, we work through it. So I'm okay. I'm okay. Some days are better than others. So that's my answer to that. Oh, this person said, Tuna. I would like for you to please stay amazing. I literally always look forward to your content. It's really refreshing and it's real life. Relatable. 5 exclamation marks. Thanks for that. That was so sweet. Thank you. Okay, so this person said, what would you say about life after matric? I would definitely say that it flies by. It flies by. I feel like I was in matric, guys, like 2 months ago. Honestly, I don't know when I became 24. It genuinely, like, I don't know what I would say. I would say it's very, very tricky. Most of us are winging it, girl. Like, when you're in matric, I'll speak for me, child. When I was 18, I had a whole plan. Like, okay, I'm gonna study for 3 years, do my honors, do my masters. I'm gonna be a psychologist, and that's that. Then I'm gonna get married. Then I'm gonna have 3 babies, and I'm gonna live happily ever after. I'm 25 next year, and I will be starting a new program within my psychology journey, yes, but it's taken a bit longer than what I expected. Don't deep it too much. I wouldn't say don't make plans, because I think that's just a natural human instinct that we have to make plans, but life will come at you like 100. Ube wena une-plan yohamba ngo-80, uyaqonda? So you know, I think, hey, don't have too many expectations for your early 20s, I would say. But definitely that it is a time of a lot of confusion. It is a time where people are telling you, have fun in varsity, but also don't have too much fun in varsity, because these are your foundations, you guys. If you have too much fun, you fool around, then you're busy trying to get your life together in your 30s. And then no one wants that, because we want to be progressing all the time. You don't have time, because this is the time where you should be grinding, and so that in your 30s and 40s, you're reaping the benefits of your hard work in your 20s. But you're also like, I'm never going to be 25 again. I need to live. It's really tough. It's really tough. I won't lie. I don't have a solid answer for this. I'm winging it, child. I'm winging it. And all I can say is try and make goals, goals that are attainable and realistic, and stick to them. A lot of them should be short-term goals for your 20s. I won't say don't have long-term goals, but a lot of the time things change in your 20s a lot. But yeah, that's what I can say about that. Okay, another question. It says, how has navigating friendships been in your early 20s? This one, I've maintained my friendships that I had in high school. Well, for the most part. Some of them have died out, and I think that's just like, in high school you have friends that you have purely because of the fact that you see these people 5 days a week most of your day. Maybe you do the same stuff. Maybe you all play netball, so you become friends, or you're all kind of labeled as the same type of people in a grade, like the loud, athletic, beautiful black girl. Did I just hype myself up there? Did I? but like, you kind of all just become friends. So yeah, I would say that I've maintained some of my friends from high school. But the reality is that you all go to varsity and you all like split up. And that's the reality for me as well. I moved to Cape Town and I didn't have any of my friends that I was friends with in the same city as me. I made new friends, and navigating friendships in your 20s is hard. Mostly because, especially now in these 20s that I'm in right now, people are done studying, other people are still studying, other people are working. There's different priorities for people now, and it's difficult to maintain all the time. It's difficult to make new friends in your early 20s, mid 20s, because people just don't have the same intention as everyone. And some people become friends with people because of what they can benefit from them. Some people become friends with people because of how they look and the kind of aesthetic they give. So it's pretty tough. But I think maintaining them, it's all about being intentional. I would say it's all about being intentional. Make time for your friends. Making them, that's a story for another day, child. It's difficult. It's really difficult knowing people's true intentions. And you don't want to force things, Okay, so someone says, are you bringing back what would sis Pumz do or say? Another person actually asked a question similar, which was not a question. Are you bringing back story time? I will say, okay, so definitely what would Pumz do? I'm definitely going to do that again. I love giving you guys advice and hearing about zonke's gaxa zenu. Don't worry, they're safe with me. Also, I definitely want to talk about the story time, because I think a couple of people asked about the story time business. I know you guys love the story times. I do think that I am trying to rebrand because my audience has grown to be more, I guess, varied, and a lot of my family members watch my YouTube. So I want to say, right, that I would love to bring back story times, but also I feel like I've told everything about my life now, guys. Honestly, when I think of a story, I probably will tell it, but I actually do have a story that I want to tell, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to. It's got to do with a good view. So I want to run it past you. It wasn't a little bit of trouble in that story time. So, Okay, so another question that we have here is, can you update us on your journey of contraception? Okay, so to bring it back to the beginning, I started contraceptives when I was in high school. When I was a senior in high school, I was 17, 18, did the nearest rate. I did that up until my first year in university, where I stopped in a restaurant and I then went on the pill. I was on Yaz Plus. When I started dating with Viwe, I then went back on Neurostraight because it was like, I'm in a stable relationship and ndiyayilibala ipilisi, guys. When people say like, put on your alarm, obviously ndiyayifaka alarm, but the reality is that sometimes uvuka early usimoto ku-service and ipilisi zisendlini because uthathe enye bag. Dilly lady, I have multiple bags. Ndayeka ipilisi, I went back to Neurostraight. I gained a lot of weight. The reality is that when you're depressed, you gain weight. It was following the loss of my father. I don't know if it was only because of Neurostraight, the fact that I was gaining weight, because when I was on it in matric / first year, I didn't gain a lot of weight, but also I was way more active back then. Like physically active, with gym and I played netball. So I got off the injection and then I went back to the pill. So honestly, I've been on and off basically in a restaurant Nayaz Plus my entire life. My entire life is crazy. Since I started using contraceptives. And right now I'm on nothing. But I'm still safe. I'm still safe. I dabbled with the idea of going on IUD, right? The IUD scared me, guys. There are a lot of horror stories in the IUD, so I definitely, I'm very, very, very sensitive to pain, so I didn't want to go through that. I genuinely didn't. I was like, give me a child, Lord, if it's my time. I'm joking. Yeah, so right now, okay, someone asked me, have you and your mom always had a close relationship? How does one get that? My mom and I have always been close. She's always been that mom that is very open, like akondo filtered kumama. Like she's very much a non-filter person. Like she speaks her mind. From a very young age, mama was very like in my face about everything. There was nothing that was left unsaid with umama. And I think that really laid the foundation of our relationship. I always believe that it might be ngumzali ozawuvula amasango yoba, what type of relationship are we going to have as a mother and a daughter? It's going to be very hard as umntana uyaxela umama ukuba une-O. Okanye anything. It's going to be very difficult if she didn't lay out that foundation yoba uyazi nawe as umntana wakhe, I can come to you with anything. My mom and I have always been close, but I think that we have definitely become closer the older I get. I'm now 24. I think around 2021, we got a lot closer because I was starting to dala, I guess. She views me as umtu, I guess, like ndingumtu ndichomi yakhe. I'm an adult, so she also listens to my opinions. She comes to me for advice, like vice versa. My mom and I are like friends, but we also remain mother and daughter, like gumama mekubeleni. So there are some things that are quite difficult to bring up to her, but you know, she sets the tone of that. We understand it because mama nglamdo tetayo yongindo. Once she does that, then I'm able namba and tete naye. And I think that's how, honestly, you would get that. I don't know if it is possible to try and initiate that as umdana in a relationship. Uchoba mama, you know, let's talk about these things. If your mom doesn't give you the same respect as what you give her, it's a difficult ask, because it has to come from them and their mindset. But umdala ngokusisi masithethe njengabantu abadala sisi. Because if she still views it as umntana 35, you understand, and you can't have conversations nalo mntu, tricky. Me, definitely with my mom, we are best friends. Like, that woman knows everything about my life, and it's so crazy because a lot of the time she just digs it out of me. Like, I wouldn't even want to tell her, but like, uzanibona hayi kaloku ntombazana thetha nam ndifuna uyazi, and I'll end up telling her because she's my friend as well. Ukubone, like chomi yam enkulu leyana. Okay, someone said, you are so happy and beautiful. Are you going to relocate anytime soon, or is Cape Town your new home? Thank you. I am very happy. Thank you for noticing. I don't know about relocating. Obviously not next year because I just got accepted into a program that is in Cape Town. It's all about alignment, you know. I definitely love Cape Town. I love Cape Town. I don't want to move as of yet. I've been here for most of my adult life. I did my undergrad here and my honors, and now I'm gonna do my BSAC equivalent here. So I definitely would say that it is my new home, but honestly, home is wherever my heart is, and inhliziyo yam igumdu wam. Yeah, I'm not planning on relocating soon. I want to relocate when it makes sense, and right now, Cape Town makes sense for me. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the psychology questions, my career, my studies, all of that. I got most of my, honestly, 75% of my questions come from people who are asking me about the program that I just applied for. What is it? How do I get into honors? How do I get into masters? What is the process of becoming a psychologist and all of that? Yeah, I had a feeling I would get a lot of questions pertaining to this, just because I've been sharing my journey on my Instagram and with you guys, and how difficult it is. So yeah, this question says, which course did you do that led to Psychology 1, and can someone start with social work? I think you can start with social work if you're doing a BA, as long as your major is a psychology module. So if whether you're a double major or a triple major, one of your majors needs to be psychology for you to do honors in psychology. That's from my understanding, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so see here, 3 questions in one. Which undergrad degree did you do? This one says, please update me on your post-grad journey. This one says, did you apply for masters or just the BSAC equivalent? Girl, just the BSAC equivalent. Just. Please. Okay, let's talk about that. Let me say which undergrad I did and update you on my journey, which is the first two questions. I did a Bachelor of Arts majoring in psychology, ethics, and English. I was a triple major at the University of the Western Cape. So yeah, I then went on to do my honors at a private institution called SACAP, which is the South African College of Applied Psychology. I did my honors, so that was a Bachelor of Social Science honors in psychology. And then now I recently got accepted at SACAP again for the Bachelor of Psychology, BPsych equivalent. So it is actually Bachelor of Social Science honors in psychology, BPsych equivalent in brackets, and the BPsych is Bachelor of Psychology. It's an honors degree, hence why I said the whole thing. It's Bachelor of Social Science honors in psychology, but in brackets it's BPsych equivalent. So how that is different from honors degree that I did is that was an academic degree, and the one that I'm doing now is a professional degree that I'm about to do. It's a professional degree. So the difference between an academic and a professional degree is that the one you can practice with and the other you have to still study further on. So if I had gone the route of maybe most people who do who become psychologists, which is you do your undergrad in Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor in Social Science, with one of your majors being in psychology, then you do your Bachelor of Social Science in honors in psychology. And then when you move from honors, you then do a master's degree in any of the psychology domains. So whether it is industrial psych, educational psych, research psych, clinical psych, counseling psych, neuropsych, which is a new one, you then do your professional master's degree, and that is the only professional degree after your undergrad and your honors, because both of those are academic. They are the theory kind of degrees that you have, because part of your master's degree is an internship. which makes it professional. What makes it professional really is that after that degree, you are now then registered with the board. So you write your board exam and then you get registered with the HPCSA, which is the board, the Health Professions Council of South Africa. That is the council where all medical practitioners are registered under. So if you are a licensed medical practitioner, you are registered at the HPCSA with your practice number. So as a registered counselor, which is what I will now be doing, right, with a BSAC equivalent, I will then, after my internship, which is about 6 months after the year of studying, I then write my board exams and I will then be a licensed mental health practitioner. I will be a registered counselor and I will be able to practice professionally with people, with real people, and not just case studies and theory. So yeah, that's been my journey. I'm going that route. It is longer, but I want to work, I want to work professionally as a licensed mental health practitioner. And it's really, really difficult to get into masters. So the person that asked me, did you apply for masters or just the BSAC equivalent? The BSAC equivalent is also extremely hard to get into, mainly because it's been phased out at a lot of institutions. So right now, as per my knowledge, it is only available at 2 institutions in South Africa, and they are both private institutions, Cornerstone Institute and SACAP. I know they have at UJ and Stellenbosch, but that is if you're going the route of psychometry. So for the BSAC equivalent, you may do either registered counseling or a registered psychometrist. So yeah, that's kind of the this or that you can do with a BSAC equivalent, but I'm choosing the registered counseling route, where registered counselors are really like the entry level to counseling in psychology. They kind of bridge the gap in terms of finances also between a registered counselor and a psychologist, is between the haves and the have-nots, because psychologists are really expensive. Okay, more on the academic stuff. How was your honors, and would you recommend the institution you did yours at? I would definitely recommend SACAP to anyone. I think that it's really, really a good institution that incorporates work integrated learning. We do theory, but also there's a lot of like application to the theory, where in my honors cohort, in all of our classes, we would have like the last 50 minutes of the class after going through the lecture slides and doing examples, answering questions. Interactive learning is a very big thing there. But also the last 50 minutes, we would kind of get given a case study based on what we have just studied in class right now. Here's a case study, apply your knowledge, come up with something and tell me what you think. And I love that. I loved that. I definitely would recommend it, because also it's a private institution, so the classes are much smaller. Obviously in your honors year, classes were going to be much smaller, but I just really like the environment. Really open-minded people also. I love people there. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that. Someone is asking, was psychology easy for you? I'm in my undergrad and I'm struggling with some modules. Psychology was never easy. Psychology is not an easy route. I would not recommend it to anyone who is trying to kind of relax through the university. It's a lot of reading and a lot of content that you need to get through. A lot of writing as well. So yeah, I knew definitely from my high school career that I was more on the theory side of things. I didn't really do well with numbers, and so I really don't mind the writing and reading. It's just there's a lot of it. So you need to be prepared for that. If you are struggling in your undergrad, then I would suggest that you find a study technique and stick to it. That is what will help you. I think a lot of the time when we struggle with modules in university, it's all about how we study. So definitely like learn yourself. Like there are people that are visual learners. I know that I need to hear myself speak so I can hear it back into my ear. I love listening in class, listening to the lecturer and what they're saying, writing down keynotes. But I know that I grasp information better when I'm listening to something. So YouTube videos, definitely. And also like talking around in my apartment, like when I'm studying for something, definitely helps me. If you are someone who's a visual learner, do diagrams, like highlight things that you know that, oh, the pink thing means this and the green thing means that, and learn your studying technique and stick to it. I also would say consistency. Don't only study when it's exam season. Don't only study 3 days before the exam. I should be taking this advice because I always do that. But I have realized that it helps a lot when you are consistent in your studying. So even if you know that exams are not for 4 weeks, do the notes now. Because by the time the 4 weeks comes, you already have your notes, you're just going through them, you're polishing what you already know. This person said, you inspire me, currently doing bachelor in social work, ndifuna unyuka in psychology. I think I'll answer this question. Thank you so much, by the way, for the compliment. I think I answered the social work part, like, you can if you have psychology as a major. But I don't know, not everyone makes it to being a psychologist, guys. You know, because of all the academic requirements and competitive nature around it. Everyone in psychology knows, like the people who have gone through it know how difficult it is to get in any of these rounds. Like, honors is very difficult to get into because from a class of 300 people who graduate undergrad, everyone wants to get into honors. And honors, you only take 50 to 53 people in a cohort. So it's very difficult. And then from honors to masters, you get hundreds of applications. I read the application process for Rhodes, and they were saying how they got 800 to 900 applications, and they only take six people, guys. It's actually insane. It's insane, and it's really, really hard. The same goes for B-Psych. We had hundreds of applications from all over South Africa. Only 25 made it in. And I'm part of that 25. So just be psych. It's not gonna fly, baby. It's insanely competitive. You need to be the best of the best. You need to present yourself in the best manner because you also go the B-Psych route as well. You also go through a really rigorous selection week. You do group activities. There's a panel interview, guys, where there are 5 people in the panel all staring at you, answering questions, like judging the way that you speak, the way that you answer, your body language, what you have to say about the certain topical issues that they're discussing. It's really nerve-wracking. It's incredibly difficult. You need to have the spirit for it. You need to know what you're in it for. And if you're in it for the money or you're in it for the title, you're going to get tired and you're going to drop out. You're going to go be an academic. Or do something completely different to the psychology route, because becoming a psychologist in South Africa, guys, someone asked if I would be their mentor after they finish their honors. I think that's so sweet, but I would think that we're probably like kind of at the same level at that point. Yeah, if you're finishing your honors next year, I'll be finishing my B-Psych theory part. I'm definitely open to answering questions like that you might have and sharing my journey. But I don't know if I qualify to be someone's mentor, guys. Like I'm not even in master's yet. Like, honestly, I'm open to answering questions and everything like that. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, so the last bit of the psychology question, someone asks, Sis Pumz, do you recommend psychology? I love it, but if family yami iti andizoqeshwa. Family yako is absolutely correct. Again, like I explained, the first 2 degrees, your undergrad and your honors, are both academic degrees. So you're not going to get a job, especially in that field. You will only get a job once you qualify and receive a professional qualification, which I just mentioned, either a B-Psych equivalent in psychometry or registered counseling, or a master's in any other psychology. Yeah, and that process is very long. So if you're someone who you need to go study, get a job very quick, psychology is not the route for you. Psychology is one of those fields of study that you have to invest first. Invest your time, your effort, your money. And ROI was only in a decade or maybe less. Some people are lucky, but a lot of the time you invest a lot of your time and money in yourself first before you see any type of return on investment, and that doesn't happen for a couple of years for most people. So if you're in a rush to get a job, I don't know if psychology is for you, but also it's up to you. If it's your passion, go for it, and explain to your family that, heck, look, this will take a bit longer than what we all anticipated, but it's something that I really want to do, and ask them to support you. Like, For example, for me, a lot of people ask about work also. And personally, like the work that I do, honestly, is just for work experience. I don't get paid. I'm on a volunteering work basis. So it's all for work experience for my CV, for applications to study, to gain experience, to then say that I have worked with real life people, guys. Like, let me in the master's program or let me in the B-side equivalent program. And it worked, I got into the B-side. So yeah, I'm still gonna carry on volunteering and all the work that I do because I really enjoy it and I really enjoy working with people. But yeah, even that, my mom had to fund me for this year. Not studying, working with no pay, going up and down, driving around Cape Town because everything is just so far away from each other. And I live here and I have to work 40 minutes away, and I have to go to a school that's 30 minutes away and do a school talk on mental health. Like, there's just a lot that your parents invest in you, and I'm grateful to have a parent who sees my vision and is obviously capable as well to invest right now, even though in a couple of years. So this is our funda, guys. Says our funda sana. So we're gonna go into the relationship questions. I'm gonna start off with this one because I just thought it was so funny. Someone said, "Wake wambona umuntu othanda indoda njengawe." No. It's me. It's me. Andifuni happiness engenayo.
Andifuni happiness engenandoda. Yo, ay.
Andifuni. Okay, so someone said, "Do you and Viwe plan on moving closer to each other?" It's definitely something we always talk about. Long distance is not something that I enjoy or that I prefer. So yeah, definitely we're always talking about it, guys, but it's just really difficult being in a relationship in your 20s because you're focusing on your career and you're doing everything, you're making decisions based on what's best for you and your career, but you have to take your partner into consideration, and it's just really difficult at this time because you want to impress, your superiors at work, and you want to prioritize your career at this time in your life. So it gets very difficult to try and make decisions on, I want to be there so that I can be next to my partner. Even for me, I'm not working, but I'm studying and I apply everywhere, yes, but where I get accepted is where I'm going to go. And if Viwe is not there, tough. We're going to make it work. And that's what we've been doing, really. We're just trying to make it work. So yes, when the opportunity arises, we definitely want to move closer to each other. But opportunity has not arisen. Opportunity has not presented itself. So we are long distancing for the time being. Okay, so I have another question that's asking specifically about long distance. How do you make long distance work? Another question is tips on long distance. I am doing it for 2 years. Guys, you make it work, hey? I won't lie. If niyathandana, you're not gonna let a little bit of distance come in between you guys. Because long distances never work. They're not gonna work if you don't want them to work. It's all about commitment, it's all about communication, and it's all about effort. Put in effort. If you think already relationships are difficult, long distance relationships are extremely difficult to maintain. You need to always put in effort. You need to call each other all the time. Schedulishani if you're busy, guys. Schedule a video call. Your phone make sure that you put time aside to be with your partner when they come and visit. Like, because you know that you're not seeing each other all the time. Put money aside. Long distance relationships are expensive as well because we're always traveling to see each other. So yeah, it takes communication, money, commitment, and effort, I would say. And honestly, that's like relationships in general. I just think that for long distances, you just need to be intentional. It's all about being intentional. Word of the day. So someone asked me to tell the story about how View and I met, and then what's your advice for maintaining a relationship that is long term. So I don't want to answer these questions in full because I plan on doing a video with Viwe for our 5th year anniversary and reflect on our journey being together. And these are the types of questions that I was hoping to get through, which is how we met and also how did we maintain being together for so long. I will just brush through them. How we met was through mutual friends. I had a friend that knew his friend, and my friend brought me along the next time they hung out, and his friend brought him along the next time they hung out, and then we met. I'll get into that in deeper detail when we're together doing that 5th year anniversary sit down video. Let me know if you guys are interested in that, and if you guys want to see Budviwe here, let him know in the comment section. Okay, because next stage fright. And the advice for maintaining a long-term relationship is just, again, communication and effort. Like, I won't say more than that, because that's really the gist of it, is to communicate. Your partner will know that you're not happy if you don't say you're not happy. And then uzayichinja uba uyafuna, uba akafuni anizolast, uba uyafuna usakuthanda, and that's your person, you get through it. And always put in effort, guys, because you don't put in effort, I feel like awuthandi, and then senzandoni. But yeah, communication and effort is what I can say to wrap it up. This is funny because Viva's little brother sent in this question. You know what's crazy is that when I saw this coming from him and said, okay, we are gay, but quite a few of you were asking me about marriage. Like, someone else said, when are you getting married, doll? Someone else also said, Betuna. It was actually a more serious question that I want to get into, which is the same kind of thing. Someone said, you've been dating for 4 years. Do you feel the pressure of marriage at all? Okay, guys. To answer the marriage questions, I'm 24 years old. I don't know if you guys know my age or like... I'm 24. And I've been dating for four and a half years. The half matters. Just over 4.5 years, actually, because we're about to be 5 years in March of 2025. And next year will be 5 years, but I'll also only be 25 years old. Like, I don't know if you guys know my age. I think that marriage is such a sacred thing, and it's such a big responsibility, especially in our culture. A lot of things need to change. And I think there's this narrative now about like how, oh, nothing should change when you're married. That's how you change the vibes of your relationship, and then you guys end up getting bored and divorced. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I have less responsibilities to Uviwe and his family as a girlfriend than I would have as a wife, because I not only now carry his family name, we have our own household. Uviwe is looked at in a different light because unomzi wakhe, unomfazi wakhe. Noba kanabantwana yindoda nomfazi leyo. Me as well. I'm no longer a girl and you're ndumfazi. Whether I got married at 22 or 32, ndumfazi. And I think you guys don't understand the magnitude of being umfazi. You need to think beyond yourself. You think for family yakwakho, family yasemzinakho. There's so much that goes into being a wife, especially as Black people, that I think that we've been focusing on the romanticized versions of getting married. Like, yeah, we've been dating for 5 years. Let's get married, guys. When you are a wife, I cannot prioritize traveling and going out to a concert with my man over umcimbi emzinam. I have responsibilities. And it's not to say when we're married, we can't travel and we can't still have fun, right? But your priorities shift. You are now umfazi wakwantondela. My duties as a wife come first before anything in my life. And I think that that's something that we don't really understand. You know, it's not to say that I'm disokonwaba, but right now, as a cherry, Mama Gavio will say to me, "I don't know about guys," but as a wife, as her makoti, as Mama Zalawa muzangela naye bagel kaloku, andizokwazi kaloku konwaba kule weekend because kaloku kumcimbi kwakho. You understand? So qala emcimbini ukhethe uchata kaloku. And I'm not saying that she's those vibes. I'm not saying that, you know, she's gonna throw it in my face, but it's just a thing that is known. Your priorities shift a little bit, you know, once you get married. And I think that I'm not ready for that. I also have said to Uviwe that I don't want to get married at the Safunda. I want to figure my life out first. Ndiphangele, ndibe ngumuntu opheleleyo, you know, ozenzela izinto, because right now ndiphila ngoba mam ndisengumntana. You understand? Umntana ke ngoku ngumfazi and get it too much. But I get the, like, this last question, you've been dating for 4 years, do you feel the pressure? It's not really pressure, because I know when I want to be a wife. I know the kind of life I want to establish for myself before I become a wife. I definitely want to be married. I definitely want to be Viva's wife, specifically him. But I think that my mom always says this, and I think that we need to focus on the different stages in our lives, guys. Like, I'm gonna be a wife longer than I'm gonna be a girlfriend. So why rush into that? It's like when older people used to tell you all the time when you were younger about enjoy being a kid. I mean, sasingafuni because but like, I want to be a wife longer than I'm going to be a girlfriend. Man, enjoy my girlfriend. Man, enjoy my Terry. Ndihambe ana responsibilities. Ndifike kuloviwe, ndibulise, ndingafeel pressure. Yo, zeziti inhlanzitya. No. Andikandiloboli. Ndingenza nje for courtesy, you know. Ndinonwabisa. Sagqiba ndithi short left ndihambe. I don't have responsibilities here. Sorry, guys. Viwe has to make an honest woman out of me before I do all of that. But like, I don't feel pressure. Like, we've been dating for almost 5 years now, and I love him to bits. I know that he loves me, and I know that we're also pretty young. So I can't do indie. But it's nice though to like put out there, you know, because your partner and you need to be on the same kind of wavelength in terms of marriage. So talking about it really does help. There's fears, obviously, like, because one thing I want to think, I'm a man. Pillow talk, you're like, baby's like chat. One thing about men, they will be here. So silently, like, guys, but give him a couple of years. Send him family pressure now, please. Now I'm sending family pressure, the same thing. This is pillow boom. Your girlfriend, and in the park on my late 20s, 30. Yabo. So I was 10. And by then, we would have been dating for 10 years. And I told him I don't want to be a girlfriend for 10 years. You're fine now. What about 4 or 5 years? We said right, but 10. D10. I record in letter, guys. Oh, please, Sana, letter. Put view about my letter, man. My cabin letter. This next question actually made me chuckle a little bit. When do you think you'll have your first child? Something that someone asked me. I will have my first child when I'm married. I definitely believe in a 2-parent household, and I want that stability for my children. Some people go on as far as to say, no, but like, when people say you want to be married first before you have a child, like, that man can leave you. That man can leave you, divorce you with those children, and you're single mother anyway. Like, guys, let's use our brains. This girl that said this on TikTok, like, she used the seatbelt analogy. You get into a car, you might still die in an accident even with your seatbelt on. But it's better, don't you think, to have your seatbelt on? It's better precaution. That's what I'm gonna say. And also, it's my preference. I want to have a child in my marriage. Someone said, how's your relationship with Budviwa's family? I'm meeting my boyfriend's parents soon, and I'm freaking out, especially as a black person from a strict household. I definitely think abazali bangoku, like, but chilled, guys, I won't lie. My dad wasn't, right? My mom knows Viwe. I know his mom and his dad. I know, to be fair, a lot of his family. And he knows quite a bit of mine, actually. Like, a bit more than I would like. And I think for him too, like, he's like, you know, actually a lot of my family, like, I've met a lot of his family. A lot of what I've heard from my mom, and also actually Viewers' mom, is that you want to get to know your child's partner before they decide to marry them. Because you want to know what they're getting themselves into. I think with my mom, I spent a lot of time with Viwe, and as much as I didn't want to tell her because it was still early, but I think for her it was a safety thing more than anything. Like, she wanted to know where I was going, who this person I was always going to was. I was obsessed with him. I was obsessed. I was always with Viwe, and at the beginning I lied to my mom, and I said, I never see, you know. Usino na iqonda usino kaloku okokoko usino kaloku uyaqhela ungena apha kule ndlu ngubani lo caba ukulinda ngapha kwegate. I don't know, like, if, you know, they're also parents that are very open in meeting their child's girlfriend. I don't think you should be scared of anything, because then that just highlights their perspective on this whole thing. Like, abako strict in that way. They will also want to just get to know you and want to know the person that their child is so serious with, I guess. So yeah, good luck to you. And I think that for me, answering your question, my relationship with US family is very, very, very good. Like, I'm very much myself around them. Uma magaviwe ngumzali. Like, abazali bagaviwe ngabazali nakum. They don't treat me any differently than what they treat their own children. I'm very grateful for that. They have beautiful, beautiful hearts, just like my person. And yeah, she's like very friendly. His dad is very friendly. Everyone is very friendly. Like, singabantwana xa sifika phayana kokwabo, naye uvuka uba ngumntana xa ifika ekhaya. Our families treat both of us like they're kids. I don't know if I answered that. Like, it's pretty chill. I met his parents pretty early on in our relationship, probably a year in or a couple of months in, closer to a year though. And he met my mom pretty early. Like, it was by accident though. I'll get into that in that Q&A for the couple's anniversary thing. But yeah, good luck to you. That's exciting. Yay! Hey, I'm gonna do the last question now because, child, it's a lot. Someone asked, love your body. Do you always eat clean or is it just the gym? Thank you. I do not always eat clean. I try sometimes I suck at it, sometimes I'm really good at it. Even the gym, sometimes I have seasons of like being really consistent, like summer, spring, so consistent. Pumz is always at the gym, like always. But autumn, winter, I suck. And yo, those are also the times where I suck with my eating as well, because I'm just chowing oxtail, hearty meals, and they're not always the most healthiest, and like really high in calories, so I gain a lot of weight. Like, my weight really fluctuates, honestly. So honestly, you loving my body is not because of always eating clean and gym. Honestly, it's genetics, guys. I've been very blessed with really good genes. I've gained quite a bit of weight. I think I'm at my heaviest right now, but like, I genuinely have shifted. Again, mind shift. It's all about your perspective. I had gained weight in 2022, and it was the first time that I gained like a fupa, because I'd always been that girl with a flat stomach but like a fatty. But then 2022, I gained weight and like some of it came to my stomach, and I was shocked. I was like, what? It was crazy. It was a crazy time. I was very, very unhappy with the way that I looked. I didn't like enjoy going out. I didn't enjoy like how I looked in clothes. I didn't enjoy getting dressed because it was just a really, really bad experience for me. But right now, I'm even heavier than what I was back then. I still have a fupa, and I'm even bigger in terms of like the lower part of my body. But I love how I look. Like, it's so crazy, just the mindset of like, wow. You know, there was this lady, I was gymming upstairs in my apartment building when the Virgin Active in my area was closed down for renovations. And she's a security guard here. And she asked me like, you know, alright, and I was like, wow, that's so crazy. Like, this woman's actually looking at me like, girl, you're perfect. I mean, no one is. But in her eyes, I was just so beautiful. And it was just like, wow, you know, it's all about perspective. And I think I'm really beautiful. As much as I've gained weight, but honestly, it's just my personal goals. Like, the body that I have right now is the body that I want post children. But this is not the body I want pre-baby. I have no babies, and this is my body that I want after post babies. So I need to get to work. But yeah, Jivaman, guys, thank you so much for the compliment. I really, really appreciate it. That thing also has to come from within, because people can compliment you and whatever, but other people are calling me fat, and it's like, well, I know what I look like. I know I've gained weight, but I also know that I look damn good. Thank you very much. So everything must come from within, guys. Tell yourself that you are that girl, and you will be that girl. It will radiate to other people. Backbone, but yeah, that girl is Tembile. So I was telling I don't this is Tembengam, then Bonamos. I'm even gaining muscles, guys. Like, are you mad? Are you mad? Ha! That better no. Okay. That better no. I'm South Africa. Guys, thank you so much for getting to the end of the video. I had so much fun answering your questions. I didn't answer some because I felt like this video was going to be way too long. Because one thing about me, I will yap. And I will have a tough time editing this video. But all for you guys. Thank you so much for your continued support. The dolls that are coming in strong. I really appreciate you guys. Welcome to my channel. I really hope you do stay. You subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you're notified every time I post a video. The next video is going to be a vlog. Super excited. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a huge thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to turn on. I already said that. If you guys enjoyed this video, please share it with as many people as you like. All your friends, family members, family. Get the word out there that Pumz is back, honey. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.